If you've ever been broken into, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this comes from experience. So many conversations that I have with customers at Smokescreen start out in exactly the same way. We've had a burglary, and now we're looking again at Smokescreen. And in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, why did it take getting robbed first? Let's talk about intruder alarms and why yours is probably shit. Stick around to the end of the video, you're going to learn a new way of thinking about your security system. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think security? For many people outside of the industry, you're probably picturing a crusty beige box on the wall, a keypad where the buttons hardly work, and a flashing light on the wall outside. If you're lucky, you'll have a modern system, maybe you'll have a key fob. But the fact is, regardless of how modern your intruder alarm system is, this kind of passive detection is actually pretty useless at stopping a burglary. Most practiced burglars will know what your intruder alarm system is capable of, and they'll know not just how to circumvent it, but how much time they have to get in and out. A typical burglary is over in less than 90 seconds. The first 5 seconds, entry is made, doors are broken, glass is smashed. If you've got a well-designed and maintained alarm system, this is probably when it'll wake up and start to alert of an intruder. Once the intruder is in, they might spend 20 or 30 seconds looking for what they're after. In fact, most burglars know ahead of time what they're looking for. To learn about how criminals can use your social media posts to plan a burglary, watch my social media security video, which is linked in the description below. Before the first 60 seconds are up, they've found their target and they're heading back out the way they came, and before you know it, the burglars are gone. Now ask yourself, at what point did your intruder alarm stop the burglary? The answer is it didn't. But, I hear you cry, we've got remote monitoring and key holders and police were informed as soon as the alarm was triggered. Yeah, great, but it is 3 AM and your key holder lives 15 minutes away. With all the best will in the world, let's face it, how many key holders are like being woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning? That 90 seconds is well up before your key holder has their trousers on, let alone hopped in the car and headed to site. And even if they did make it to site, who's to say they'd intervene in a way that's stopped any loss? It's unlikely, not impossible, but it's unlikely. Wait, you've got it all wrong, you say, pleading. There's CCTV cameras everywhere, we'll have footage as soon as they get in. Yeah, that's also great. Probably 4K with night vision. You'll get crystal clear footage of a masked intruder making away with all your valuables. Okay, cameras are a brilliant tool in the security toolbox, and they are excellent at collecting evidence for documenting crime. But just like your intruder alarm, no camera ever stopped a burglar from getting in. So this is where most people get their idea of security wrong. Detecting an intruder is just one piece of the pie. So let's talk about the whole thing. Let's talk about layered security. Deter, detect, defend. We already know about detect, using your intruder system and CCTV cameras to know exactly when and where an intrusion is taking place. Detection is actually the second layer. You need to start with deter. Deterring means showing potential intruders that you're protected. It's putting them off trying to break in the first place. You can use signage and visible security equipment. We all know that this property is monitored by CCTV cameras sign. It doesn't always work, but it is just the first layer and it might just be enough to put an opportunist off. So it's still well worth considering. The next slice of the pie is the good old-fashioned detection. Detecting the intruder allows you to start your follow-up work. It's securing the site for the rest of the night, gathering the video evidence, and passing all that information on to the authorities. Your CCTV and your intruder alarm, they're not useless or redundant, but they aren't going to stop a break-in from happening in the moment. And that's where defend comes in. Okay, I'm not talking about spike traps and poisonous gases. What I'm talking about is smart, safe, proven ways of making a criminal leave before they can do any damage. And here's the thing, in order to mount a defense, you must first know there's an attack. So let's go all the way back to our useless intruder alarm. An intruder alarm that, although not capable of stopping a burglar by itself, is really great at detecting them. Then we connect our defenses to that burglar alarm. That instant detection gives us instant defense. And yeah, this is where smokescreen comes in. Our fog generators can fill up a space with dense white fog in seconds. First, the initial burst shocks and distracts the intruder, and then the fog totally obscures their vision. At this point, they can't see anything, so there's no way they can find the valuables that they're after. And remember, most burglaries are over in less than 90 seconds. And if that burglar can't find what they're after in that time, they're putting themselves at serious risk of being caught. So the delaying result of being disoriented and lost leaves the burglar with one option: leave. And it doesn't stop there. Security fog hangs in the air for a long time, usually about 40 minutes or so. And that's thick fog that nobody's going to see through. So if the intruder does hang around waiting for it to clear, they're going to be waiting a long time. Long enough where your key holders or the police will be on scene to make sure that nobody can even try and get back in. Security fog isn't the only defense against intruders, although it is our favorite. A smokescreen system can be paired with, for example, a bright flashing strobe to amplify the effects of the fog. Imagine turning on your main beams whilst driving in fog, except you're doing it 7 times a second. On top of that, you can add a high-powered sounder to put up an audible barrier against intruders. Combine all 3 of those and, frankly, any intruder might as well just give up and go home. Having all 3 is like being trapped in the worst rave ever. When you combine proper defensive tools with quality detection equipment, that's when your security system really starts to do what you expected in the first place. You need to think about your security in those 3 layers: deter, detect, and defend. And how each of those layers interact and work together will help you protect your home, your shop, or your business. Okay, so maybe your intruder alarm isn't shit. Maybe you're just using it wrong. Or you had the wrong expectations. So don't throw your intruder alarm system away just yet. What you need to do is tie it into a strategic, holistic, integrated threat response. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you found it useful, and leave a comment below on how you would layer your security to defend your property. Check out our other videos for more security tips and subscribe for more videos like this.